Oh, God. Yeah, postmodernism, relativism, striking again. I have a girl brain, but a boy body. That's bullshit, okay? You can't. I urge you people out there to look into Aristotle and Aristotelian fucking logic. The three basic foundational laws of logic. These are key to understanding and disproving the postmodernists of fucking today. Law of identity, law of non-contradiction, law of excluded middle. Hello, you can't be two things at the same fucking time that are diametrically opposed, that are opposite. You can't be a girl and a boy at the same fucking time. You're either one or the other, bitch. So it looked like your typical reading class, dozens of kindergarten kids. Oh no, kindergartners are read transgender stories at transgender story time. Oh. And this is March 2019. This is very recent. Oh, God. It looked like your typical reading class. By the way, how is this a class? The kids just sit around. I don't know if they have books and they're reading along with you, or if they're just being read to. But wouldn't it be more of a story time and more educational and useful if the kids were going around and reading page by page themselves? I remember we had reading class in school, and it would go from student to student to student, and we would read a paragraph, and then the next student would read a paragraph, and so on and so forth. Instead, this is just a bunch of kids being read to, almost as if it's an indoctrination, re-education session, which it is. Accept this deviancy is normal, and to normalize it, we will read it during kindergarten story time. Now transgender story time. Dozens of kindergarten students sat cross-legged on the floor, watching their teacher turn their first page. It didn't take long for the 5-year-olds to realize this is no ordinary children's book. I have a girl brain, but a boy body. Miss McBride started. This is called transgender. Oh, God. It's called bullshit. It's called fantasy. It's called LARPing. It's called make-believe. It's called not fucking reality. I was born this way. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You were influenced by social media, by your hippie parents, by school reading you books about fucking transgender, thanks to a new partnership between two radically liberal forces. Oh, God. Yeah, as if the words radically liberal could denote anything good. The National Education Association and Human Rights Campaign. Yeah, because it's a human right to pretend you're a dog. Or a wayman when you're a man. There's no telling how many elementary school students heard the exact same message in their own classrooms. That's because Monday was Read Across America Day, and for the first time, the country's biggest LGBT extremists were official sponsors. I want to understand something. And I want you to understand something, too. You need to get over this belief that 10% or more of the population are homos, or homosexuals, or lesbians. It's less than 1%. Less than 1%. Like half a fucking percent of the fucking population are these deviant people, okay? That's it. It's not 10%, not 20%, it's not 50%. If you listen to these homos, 50% of people are really latent homos. Most people are natural homos. They just don't want to admit it because of social stigmatization. Yeah, this is wishful thinking, right? Because, they'd have more people they could pick up and bang. Because, gay relationships are all about sex. You can't make kids, can you? So, the NEA, which has been a satellite office for the far left wing of the Democratic Party. Oh, God. It gets worse. Oh, boy. All right, let's move on here. Yeah, encouraging kids to accept their worst, live out. This is crazy stuff. So in the Washington Post article about this new initiative, no one explains whether parents were warned. Judging by both organizations' track record, it's safe to assume they weren't. This is great. I remember I took sex education class in school, and I had to get a permission slip. And I think I was like fucking 15 or 16 or something. 15 maybe, but you still had to get a permission slip. Meanwhile, you got little 5-year-olds going to school. Hi, my name is Danishta the Great Drag Queen Biatch. I want to teach you about gay sex today. Oh my God. Here's how you take it in the pooper, kiddies. I've got illustrations for you. Big, giant, pineapple-shaped bitch with this gigantic fucking 80s hairdo. Trying to look like Liz Taylor. Telling you about anal sex as a 5-year-old? What the fuck? Oh, but this is perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. When an otherwise healthy biological boy believes he's a girl, or an otherwise healthy biological a girl believes she's a boy, an objective psychological problem exists or is created that lies in the mind, not the body, and it should be treated as such. Yes, 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 yes. You're creating a problem here that didn't prior exist. And I guarantee you that Desmond is amazing. He was just picking up on mommy's biases. Mommy talked about how she liked that fucking drag kid, club kid that murdered his drug dealer. That was later a video. Remember that video? Desmond is Amazing was in that video with that Michael Alec or whatever his fucking name was, sitting around eating what looked like cum out of little fucking bowls. It was crazy, man. Yeah, because the way you can show you love your child is to let him have interviews with convicted murderers, right? Yeah. And they got pictures of fucking Rohypnol, in big bold letters on the back, on the wall behind them, right? And that's supposed to be, modern art. Yeah, I want to let my kids sit around with people like that. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. So for years, LGBT activists wanted to keep the goal of luring children into sexual confusion under wraps, right? They hadn't indoctrinated enough of the population, gotten enough people into positions of authority and influence, and they hadn't scared shitless enough conservatives to keep their mouth quiet to be able to be open about it. But now they've achieved their goal, and they have pussified enough of you people out there and enough of you men out there to be able to be out in the open with this shit. Now that they've hoodwinked a lot of the country on their agenda, these extremists no longer have to hide, right? In fact, they are increasingly bold, even boastful about their real intentions of recruiting kids. And I've seen this in the news, by the way. I see a bunch of these left-wing liberal nutjobs talking about how pedophilia is some kind of acceptable thing. It's like being gay. Hey, we should accept it. There's no context where sex between an adult, okay, and a child is acceptable, okay? Now, okay, you could argue some gray areas for, like, kids that are 16 years old, okay? And you could argue whether or not that's actually a kid. I mean, 16 is pretty old in regards to that. I mean, you could do some arguing there maybe in the moral gray areas. But a 10-year-old, preteens, I don't think so. This is just... Oh, some of this shit just leaves you speechless, man. Just leaves you fucking speechless. And this next story, by the way, so if you'd like to let me know what you think about this, drag queen story time, I'm going to open up Skype again. I keep forgetting to open that up. What the hell? Oh, it's uploading a new version of Skype. Lovely. I love when I go to open up a program, and then instead of opening it, it fucking downloads something without my permission. Stupid. All right. So, what do you think of drag queen story time? An effort to homoize our kids, turn them into homos, so that old gay dudes can have a larger pool of young people to ostensibly bang? When they reach legal age, of course, at least until, pedophilia is normalized too. Or is it a good thing? Is it a good thing? Yes. Are people becoming more liberal-minded, and is that good? Let me know via Skype. My Skype name is The Realist Philosopher. That is The Realist Philosopher. I need some more coffee here. This shit is depressing me. Well, not really, but... I need any excuse to drink some more fucking coffee. Oh, boy. I keep getting the levels wrong. There's no little line markers inside the bottle, so I have to guesstimate how much for 2 cups. And I'm getting it wrong more often than right. There's still some coffee left over in the fucking tin. Anyway, yeah, because the one thing you want when you go to school, and you know these schools are not contacting the parents. That's my big problem. Well, it's not my only problem. There shouldn't be any situation where you can sign a permission slip, a permission slip to let your kid go to a drag queen fucking story hour at the age of 5. These people shouldn't be allowed in the building. Look at what happened with the fucking Boy Scouts, okay? Look what happened with the Boy Scouts. They let the gays in as scout leaders. What happened? Sexual assaults skyrocketed. They went through the roof. It doesn't mean that gays have a higher propensity for abusing young children. What it means is that when you had straight guys in the positions before, they're not attracted to men, so they're not going to abuse them. Now you bring in all these gay guys, some of them are going to be pedophiles, and they're around people they're attracted to. Even if they were pedophiles, if they were straight, they wouldn't be attracted to the boys, so they wouldn't abuse the boys. Oh, it's a great idea to have a bunch of gay scout leaders who then abuse the boys. Because statistically speaking, some of them are going to end up being pedophiles, which the left seems to think is a great thing. Yeah, because they're a bunch of degenerates.